First step, remove any dirt that's caked onto the spade. In fact, you should, every time you put it away, really wipe it off. I haven't, and you can see I've got rust forming there. You want to get all that dirt off every time you use it. A little bit of dirt gets caked up. So that's a simple step. You may have to spray it with a hose or brush it with a brush to get all the dirt off. Step 2. If it's a spade, not a shovel, if it's a spade, then you need to sharpen the edge up. Sharpening the edge, the easiest way to do it is with a angle grinder, but they're fairly dangerous little things, so I would suggest, I recommend put on some gloves and maybe cover your face with something like this. If you don't have something like this, wear some sunglasses. The best way to do this is to put the spade into a brace on a workbench, but I'm outside here, so I'm just going to put my foot on it there to keep it nice and steady, and then off we go. Then simply turn it over and do one run on the other edge. So we've now got a pretty sharp edge there. You can see where the metal's been cut back there. It's not like a razor, it's not going to cut you there, but it's a sharp instrument. I would now treat it like a pair of secateurs or hedge trimmers. It's sharp. Don't muck about with it. I wouldn't want to get my finger or toe stuck under this thing with any pressure. It's really nice for digging now. It's much more efficient, you'll find. Once you use a sharp spade, you will never want to go back to using blunt ones. You do need to be pretty careful of irrigation pipes. It just cuts through an irrigation pipe without you even knowing it, so there are some disadvantages, but it's a much better tool now. You treat the wooden handle with linseed oil and mineral turpentine, a little mixture. So you just apply that. This is actually not a bad thing to do every time if you keep this little pot of the mixture of linseed oil and turpentine in the shed, and you keep a rag pretty close. Not a bad thing to do every time you put your tools away. Just make sure that the oil, that way the shaft won't split and it'll last for a long time. You won't get splinters, which is a bad thing for once it starts to split, and it'll last for a much longer time. So probably the two things, the first one, cleaning off the dirt, and oiling the shaft, that can happen whenever you want. And then at least once a year, not for shovels, but for spades, you should sharpen them up. Or if you're going to do a really big cutting job that's really quite significant, then you might say, okay, before I start, let's get this spade really sharp. So pretty simple, quite enjoyable, and it'll make your gardening that much better and safer actually.